Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at something that I think a lot of us use pretty regularly, but maybe don't give a whole lot of thought to notebooks.
Yeah.
Um, but not just any notebooks, premium notebooks. You know, the kind that makes you actually excited to open them up and start taking notes?
The ones that just feel good, right?
Exactly. And to help us get to the bottom of what makes a notebook premium, we've got a really interesting document we're going to be looking at today. It's called "And Get Ready for This."
Uh,
.txt.
Catchy.
Yeah, and you know what else is catchy? The content inside. It's packed with insights that look like they were written by a notebook company CEO
Oh,
for
wow.
retailers and designers.
Yeah.
I think they were really trying to give them an idea of how to make a top-tier notebook experience.
Oh,
So our mission today,
yeah.
well, we're going to figure out what sets these premium notebooks apart. Like what makes them, well, premium.
Sounds like a plan. I have to say, it is interesting how we often take notebooks for granted. I mean, we use them all the time, but most of us probably don't put a ton of thought into all the little things that make a notebook feel truly special.
Totally. But this document we're looking at, it really gets into all those little details. And one of the first things it dives into is the paper.
Ah, the heart of the notebook.
Exactly. And specifically, GSM. So, have you ever picked up a notebook and just thought, wow, this paper feels amazing?
All the time.
Right. Me too. But I never really knew what exactly made it feel so good.
It's one of those things you just kind of instinctively respond to, I think.
For sure. So, the source here, it explains that GSM stands for grams per square meter, and it's a measure of the paper's density.
Okay.
And a good way to think about it is to compare it to fabric. You know, a thin, flimsy sheet of paper, that's kind of like a really lightweight fabric.
Right.
But then you get a nice, thick, substantial page, and that's more like a luxurious high thread count material.
I like that analogy. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not just about the paper being thicker. It's about the whole feel, the quality it conveys.
Absolutely. And customers are definitely drawn to thicker paper, and the document actually talks about that because it kind of implies that the notebook is going to be more durable.
Makes sense?
And people associate that with quality. You know, a standard notebook, it might be using 70 or 80 GSM paper, which is totally fine for everyday notes.
Yeah, you don't need anything super fancy if you're just jotting down a grocery list.
Exactly. But when you start getting into the premium range, they're often using 90 to 120 GSM.
Oh, wow.
Or even higher. And that's where you get that smooth, almost luxurious writing experience.
And, you know, for people who really love using fountain pens, or maybe they just really appreciate having a notebook that feels substantial, you can even find notebooks with paper in the 160 GSM range.
Oh, wow, that's thick.
It's serious paper.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if a company cares enough to use that kind of high quality paper, it shows they're paying attention to the details.
Yeah, it builds trust, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that attention to detail, it extends to the notebook cover as well. And that brings us to the fascinating world of finishes.
Ooh, finishes.
Finishes. This source breaks down three main types: matte, gloss, and textured. And each one, they evoke a very different feeling, a different aesthetic.
Well, I have to admit, I'm definitely drawn to a beautiful notebook cover. It's the first thing you see, and it really does set the tone for the whole experience.
Absolutely. So let's talk about these different finishes. What are the key differences?
Okay, so picture a sleek professional notebook.
Okay, got it.
It's got a smooth, understated cover, and that's the elegance of a matte finish.
So it's subtle.
Very subtle, sophisticated, often used for minimalist designs, kind of like a classic black dress or a really well-tailored suit.
Timeless, I get it.
Exactly, timeless and refined.
Okay, so what about gloss? I feel like that's a really popular choice, especially for journals and planners.
Yeah, gloss definitely adds a vibrancy. Think of a magazine cover, it's eye-catching and it really makes the colors pop, and it can make a notebook feel very modern and energetic. The source even mentions that a well-chosen finish can actually reflect a brand's personality.
Oh, that's really interesting. So a company could use like a matte finish for a professional line of notebooks, and then gloss for something that's a little more playful or creative.
Exactly. And then, of course, you've got textured finishes, which are all about that tactile experience. This is where you get into like leather-like textures that feel really rich and classic, or linen finishes that have that natural handcrafted feel. Imagine running your fingers over a finely woven fabric. That's the kind of sensory experience a textured finish can bring to a notebook.
It's like the cover's inviting you to touch it, to experience the notebook on a whole other level.
Yes. And the source actually highlights this. They say a great finish speaks volumes about the quality of the product. So it's not just about durability, it's about conveying a certain image, a certain feeling right from the start.
Okay, so we've got paper, we've got covers. What about the thing that literally holds it all together? The binding.
Ah, the unsung hero of the notebook.
Right. It's often overlooked, but it plays a huge role in how well a notebook functions and how long it's going to last.
Totally. And this source really focuses on two premium binding types, Smyth sewn and wire. Now, Smyth sewn is super interesting because it's a traditional bookbinding technique, and it involves sewing sections of pages together, creating a really strong and durable spine.
Wait, so is that why some notebooks lie perfectly flat?
Yes, it's not magic, it's Smyth sewn.
I always wondered about that.
And it's not just about aesthetics. It allows the notebook to lay flat, which is great for left-handed writers or if you like to spread your notes out, but it also adds to the notebook's longevity. It's built to last.
Right, so it's like the difference between a piece of clothing that's been carefully tailored and something that's just kind of slapped together. You can see the quality in the construction.
Exactly. Now, wire binding, on the other hand, is more modern and offers incredible flexibility.
Oh yeah, wire-o.
You can flip the pages really smoothly and fold the notebook back on itself, so it's a popular choice for planners, journals, things like that.
So Smith sewn for that classic, almost heirloom quality, and wire-o for maximum practicality. Okay, I'm starting to see how all these elements work together to create that premium feel.
Yeah.
But how do you know which binding is the right one for a premium notebook?
That's a great question. The source emphasizes that the binding should really match the quality of the other components. If you have a high-quality notebook, it deserves a binding that's equally well-constructed. It completes the whole package.
It's all about the details, right? And speaking of details, I'm really intrigued by the idea of customization. It seems like that's a key element of making a notebook truly premium.
Oh, absolutely. Customization is where a notebook goes from being just functional to something really personal. And the source mentions a few key options. For example, embossing and debossing. Those are techniques for creating raised or indented designs on the cover.
Oh, like if you had your initials or a company logo on the cover.
Exactly. It adds a touch of elegance and personalization.
So it's not just about slapping a logo on there, it's about creating something you can feel.
Yes. It's a tactile experience.
Yeah.
And then you have personalized pages, which opens up a whole world of possibilities.
Ooh, like what?
Well, you could have a planner with custom layouts tailored to your specific needs, or a journal with inspirational quotes that resonate with you. You could even have a notebook designed with your company's branding incorporated throughout, making it a really unique marketing tool or a special gift for clients.
That's so much more thoughtful than just a generic notebook.
Right. And the source emphasizes that this level of customization really elevates the notebook. It becomes a unique object, something meaningful that reflects the user's personality or a company's brand identity.
It's like they're saying, we see you, we understand you, and we've created something special just for you.
Exactly. And that personal touch, that attention to detail, it's a hallmark of a truly premium notebook.
You know, it's funny, as we're going through all these elements of what makes a notebook premium, I'm realizing it's not just about fancy materials anymore.
Yeah, it's really evolved, hasn't it?
It really has.
I mean, it's more about the whole experience these days, right?
Right.
Like the feeling you get when you use a really nice, high-quality notebook.
Totally. And this CEO, he seems to really get that.
Yeah.
He highlights in the source how a premium notebook becomes something more.
It's more than just something to jot things down in, right?
Right.
It's
And you know what else he talks about?
What's that?
Is how powerful these notebooks can be for businesses.
Oh, especially when you bring in that element of customization that we were talking about before, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd love to dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that you're seeing businesses use personalized notebooks?
Well, okay, think about it this way. Imagine you get a gift from a company, right?
Yep.
But instead of just some generic thing with their logo slapped on it, you get this really beautiful notebook. And it has personalized pages.
Oh, wow.
Maybe there are quotes inside that are relevant to your industry or a layout that's been specifically tailored to what you do for that company.
Like they've really thought about what you might need and appreciate.
Exactly. And it feels a lot more genuine
It does.
than just getting some like standard promotional item.
For sure.
It shows they value you not just as a potential customer, but as a person.
Right.
It's subtle, but I think it's a really powerful way to build relationships.
Totally. It's not just about giving something away. It's about creating a connection.
Exactly. And that idea of connection, it extends beyond just the corporate world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Think about personalized journals or planners.
Right.
These can be super powerful tools for like self-reflection, for goal setting,
Yeah.
even for just creative expression.
It's funny you say that because I have found if I have a really nice journal, I am way more likely to actually write in it.
Oh, yeah,
It feels more special.
it does.
Like my thoughts deserve to be in this nice journal.
It becomes more than just a notebook. It's like a companion on your journey,
Oh, I like that.
and it's a reflection of your aspirations and values.
So it's as much about the emotional connection as it is about the physical object.
I think so. And our CEO friend here, he seems to really understand that.
Yeah.
He actually says that premium customization makes the notebook feel special and unique, which I think that's something really important to consider whether you're buying a notebook for yourself or you're creating a custom product for your business.
It's about hitting that sweet spot where function and feeling come together.
Totally.
You're making something that is both practical and personally meaningful.
Exactly. And as we keep going through this source, you know what I keep coming back to?
What's that?
This idea of the notebook as an experience, not a product.
I love that.
It's not just about taking notes, it's about creating something beautiful, something lasting, an invitation to slow down,
Right.
be present, and engage with your thoughts and ideas in a more mindful way.
That is a beautiful way to put it. And it's about choosing a notebook that reflects your own personal style and values, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're buying it for yourself or, designing something for your company.
Totally.
So it sounds like we're saying a premium notebook. It's more than just a list of features.
Yeah.
It's this combination of high-quality materials,
Yes.
thoughtful design,
Yeah.
and that special something that makes it feel personal and inspiring.
Beautifully said. I think our CDO friend would agree.
Yeah.
He says right here that premium notebooks aren't just functional, they're an experience.
And what an experience it is.
It is.
Okay, now I think this is a good moment for us to pause and reflect on what we've covered so far.
Okay.
We've been talking a lot about what makes a notebook premium from the manufacturer's or retailer's perspective, right?
Right.
But I'm curious to hear from you, the listener.
Yeah. What about you guys?
What details really stand out to you as essential for a premium notebook experience?
What would make a notebook truly unique and special for you?
Take a second to picture your ideal notebook.
Yeah. Close your eyes.
What kind of paper does it have?
What does the cover look like?
How does it feel in your hands?
What would you use it for?
And maybe, even more importantly, what purpose would it serve in your life?
Would it be a tool for productivity?
A place for your creativity?
A companion on your journey of self-discovery?
These are big questions.
They are.
So we're going to give you a moment to let those thoughts simmer.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll explore one final thought that might just spark your own quest for notebook nirvana. All right, we're back. So did you have a chance to picture that ideal notebook?
Yeah. Did you see those thick, smooth pages just waiting for your pen? Or maybe you imagined a textured cover
Oh, yeah.
that feels like a piece of art in your hands.
I love that.
It's amazing how powerful just visualizing something like that can be.
It is.
It really helps us connect with what we truly value in an object.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about the physical aspects, right? The GSM, the finishes, the binding, all those customization options.
Right. All the things you can see and touch.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's another layer we need to consider.
Ooh, what's that?
What about the stories that these notebooks are going to hold?
Yes.
The ideas, the dreams, the little everyday moments.
That fill those pages.
Right. It's like we're handing someone a blank canvas.
Right.
And the notebook itself becomes part of their creative process.
Oh, I like that.
Think about it. Every pen stroke,
Yeah.
every little doodle in the margin,
Every carefully crafted to-do list.
it all becomes part of this unique narrative, right?
Yeah, it does.
And a premium notebook, with its quality and thoughtful design, it's almost like an invitation to create something special
It is.
within its pages.
Yeah.
I've definitely had notebooks where the paper was so thin that my pen would bleed through, or the binding was so flimsy the pages would start falling out.
Right.
And it makes a difference.
It does.
It impacts how much you value what you're writing.
Exactly. And when you have a notebook that feels substantial,
Yeah.
that feels well-made, that maybe even has some personalization to it,
Right.
it elevates the whole experience.
Well,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're saying, okay, these thoughts, these ideas, they're important to me. I'm
Yeah.
going to treat them with care.
So the true value of a premium notebook,
Yeah.
it might not be just in those initial qualities.
Right.
It might be in its potential to become something even more
More meaningful, right?
over time.
As you use it.
It's like a repository for our memories,
Right.
a reflection of our growth.
Yeah.
a tangible record of our journey.
You know, it's a good reminder that the most valuable things,
Yeah.
they often transcend their material worth.
Right.
They become imbued with this personal significance.
Yeah.
Because they hold our stories and our experiences,
They do.
our evolution.
So as you're thinking about your next notebook purchase,
Yeah.
or maybe you're even dreaming of designing your own,
Right?
just remember, the perfect notebook is more than just a set of features.
It's a vessel for your thoughts.
It's a canvas for your
A
creativity.
companion on your journey.
Choose wisely
Right, with passion.
and let your notebook become a reflection of your unique and extraordinary story.
Well said.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the world of premium notebooks.
It's been fun.
Until next time,
Yeah.
happy writing, everybody.